They've been a part of our childhood for generations, robots in disguise, with the power to change from a sleek car or truck into a towering warrior. They are Transformers, and they've captured our imaginations for over 3 decades. The Transformers franchise has been a cultural phenomenon since its inception in 1984. With the original cartoon series, created by Hasbro and Takara Tomy, the franchise began as a line of transforming toys that featured robots that could turn into vehicles, animals, and other objects, with the concept of the toys was inspired by Japanese Diaclone and Microman toy lines. The original Transformers cartoon series, which aired from 1984 to 1987, followed the battle between the heroic Autobots and the evil Decepticons. The show was an instant hit, and sparked a wave of nostalgia among fans in the following years. The show was also known for its memorable cast of characters, catchy theme song, and epic battles between the Transformers. The success of the cartoon led to a creation of a wide range of Transformers media, in addition to various animated series and movies. There have been countless comic books, novels, video games, and merchandise based on the franchise. One of the most popular Transformers comic book series was produced by Marvel Comics in the 1980s and 1990s, and is still beloved by fans today. The Transformers franchise has also made a significant impact of that of pop culture. The characters have been referenced and paraded in countless movies, TV shows, and other media. The Transformers have become an iconic symbol from the 1980s pop culture, and they continue to resonate with audiences of all ages today. Over the years, the Transformers franchise has evolved to include new characters, storylines, and technology. With the release of new movies such as the 2007 live-action film directed by Michael Bay, the franchise has continued to attract new generations of fans while maintaining the loyalty of their original followers. The Transformers franchise took on a new life with the release of the 2007 live-action movie directed by Michael Bay. The movie, which starred Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, brought the beloved characters of the Transformers to life on the big screen like never before. With state-of-the-art special effects and action-packed storyline, the movie was a box office hit, grossing over $700 million worldwide. The success of the first Transformers movie spawned out of a new era for the franchise. 3 more sequels followed in 2009, 2011, and 2014, with each installment bringing even more money at the box office. The movies were known for their over-the-top action sequences and cutting-edge special effects that made the Transformers look even more realistic than ever before. The success of the movies also led to a new generation of Transformers fans, younger audiences who had never seen the original cartoon or had played with the toys that were introduced with the world of the Transformers through the movies. This led to a surge in sales of Transformers toys and merchandise, as well as a renewed interest in the franchise and other media. In addition to the movies, the Transformers franchise has continued to evolve in other ways. The animated series Transformers Prime debuted in 2010 and ran for 3 seasons, and the franchise has also expanded into video games and comic books. The Transformers brand has also partnered with other popular franchises such as Marvel Cinematic Universe to create a new and exciting crossover content. The popularity of the Transformers franchise shows no signs of slowing down. In 2018, the spin-off movie Bumblebee was released, which was well received by critics and fans alike. There are also plans for more Transformers movies in the future, as well as a new animated series among other media. In conclusion, the release of the 2007 Transformers movie directed by Michael Bay marked a new era for the franchise. The movie's success led to a huge surge in popularity for the brand, as well as the introduction of a new generation of fans. With even more movies and other media on the horizon, the Transformers franchise is sure to continue its legacy for many years to come. The Transformers franchise has been more successful not only on the big screen, but in the world of video games. Mainline Transformers games have been released for various platforms over the years, allowing players to control their favorite Autobots and Decepticons as they battle through epic adventures. One of the earliest Transformers games was released on the Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum in the 1986. Based on the original cartoon series, since then, many Transformers games have been released on a variation of platforms, including Nintendo Entertainment System, Sega Genesis, and PlayStation, among Xbox and PC. One of the most popular Transformers game series in the name of the Transformers War for Cybertron series, which was developed by Hyman Studios and released in 2010. The game was set on the Transformers home planet of Cybertron and allowed players to control their favorite Autobots and Decepticons in a series of epic battles. battles. The game's success led to a sequel, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, which was released in 2012. In addition to the mainline games, there have been many numerous spin-off and/or mobile games based off the Transformers franchise. These games range from puzzle games to action games to racing games and more, and they allow fans of all ages to experience the world of the Transformers in a new and exciting ways. The success of the video games has allowed the Transformers franchise to expand its reach even further, and the games have introduced the franchise to new audiences, and they have helped to keep the brand relevant in the ever-evolving world of entertainment. Looking to the future, the Transformers franchise is set to continue its expansion into the world of video games. In 2023, a new game title called Transformers Reactivate is set to be released for its open beta, in line or possibly later with that of the upcoming movie Rise of the Beast. This game will allow players to control their favorite Transformers as they battle through an epic adventure set on New York City and other locations sprawled across Earth. Released in 2010, Transformers War for Cybertron was a game changer for the Transformers franchise in the world of video games. Developed by High Moon Studios and published by Activision, the game was set on the Transformers home planet of Cybertron, allowing players to control their favorite Autobots and Decepticons in a series of epic battles. The game was widely praised for its fast-paced action, intricate story, and high-quality graphics. It also introduced a new generation of gamers to the Transformers franchise and allowed long-term fans to experience the world of the Transformers in a new and exciting way. One of the game's standout features was its storyline, which explored the events leading up to the Transformers' exodus from Cybertron to Earth. The game's multiplayer mode was also a major highlight, allowing players to customize their own Transformer and battle it out with others online. The multiplayer mode featured a variation of game modes and allowed players to earn experience points to unlock new weapons and abilities. In addition to its gameplay, Transformers War for Cybertron was praised for its high-quality graphics and sound design. The game's visuals were sleek and polished, and the sound effects and voice acting helped to bring the world of the Transformers to life. The success of Transformers War for Cybertron led to a sequel, Transformers Fall of Cybertron, which was released in 2012. The sequel continued the storyline of the first game and introduced new characters and gameplay mechanics. Overall, Transformers War for Cybertron is regarded as one of the best mainline Transformers games ever made. Its fast-paced action, intricate story, and high-quality graphics helped to set a new standard for the franchise in the world of video games. The game's success also helped pave the way for other successful Transformers games such as Transformers Devastation and Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark. In addition to the success of Transformers War for Cybertron, the Transformers franchise continued to expand in the world of video games with many more mainline games released over the years. Transformers Dark of the Moon was a significant release in the Transformers franchise as it was the first game to be developed by High Moon Studios, the team that built behind the critically acclaimed Transformers War for Cybertron, as the game was based off the third Transformers movie of the same name. It followed a storyline that was already familiar to many fans of the franchise. In the game, players could take on roles of various Autobots and Decepticons, including Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron. Each character had their unique abilities and playstyle, and players could switch between them on the fly. This feature allowed for some exciting and dynamic gameplay as players could swap between characters to deal with different enemies or situations. One of the game's most significant selling points was that of its detailed graphics. The city of Chicago was rendered in stunning detail, allowing players to explore and interact with various landmarks such as the Wills Tower and Ringley Building. The Transformers themselves were also highly detailed, with intricate designs that captured the essence of the Transformers characters from the movies. The game's graphics engine also allowed for destructible environments, which players could smash through buildings and send debris flying in all directions. In addition to the main campaign, the game also had that of a featured multiplayer mode, which allowed players to battle against each other as Autobots and Decepticons. The multiplayer mode also featured various amounts of modes, including Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag, and allowed players to customize their character with different weapons and abilities. Overall, Transformers Dark of the Moon was a well-received game that offered an exciting and action-packed experience for fans of the franchise. The game's attention to detail in its graphics and level design made it a standout title, and its diverse cast of playable characters gave players plenty of options to choose from. With its successful launch, High Moon Studios proved that they could deliver a solid Transformers game that captured the essence of the franchise while adding their unique spin to gameplay. Transformers Fall of Cybertron was a highly anticipated release that built off the success of Transformers War of Cybertron Cybertron. Developed by High Moon Studios, the game continued the story of the first game, and took players on a journey through the final days of Cybertron. The game introduced new characters, including the Dinobots, and allowed players to control various Autobots and Decepticons as they fought for control over the dying planet. One of the most significant new features in Transformers Fall of Cybertron was the ability to transform into a dinosaur via the Dinobots. This mechanic was introduced in addition to that of the Dinobots, a group of Autobots who could transform into powerful robotic dinosaurs. The Dinobots added a new level of excitement to that of the gameplay, as players could smash through walls and crush enemies with their massive bodies. The game's story was also highly engaging and featured excellent voice acting from a talented cast, including that of Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime and Greg Berger as Grimlock. The game's campaign mode was also structured like that of a series of vignettes, with each chapter focusing on a different character or group of characters. This format allowed for a diverse range of gameplay experiences, from sneaking through enemy lines as Jazz to wrecking havoc as Bruticus, a massive Decepticon who is made up of several smaller bots. Transformers Fall of Cybertron also improved on the graphics and gameplay mechanics of the first game. The game featured more detailed and varied environments, allowing for players to explore the desolate ruins of Cybertron and witness the destruction of the planet up close. The game's combat mechanics were also refined with new weapons and abilities that allowed for more dynamic and satisfying battles. In addition to the single-player campaign, the game also featured a multiplayer mode, which allowed players to fight and battle against each other as Autobots and Decepticons. The multiplayer mode also featured various modes including Team Deathmatch and Conquest, and alongside this allowed players to customize their character with different weapons and abilities. Overall, Transformers Fall of Cybertron was a worthy sequel to that of Transformers War for Cybertron, and that it offered an exciting and varied experience for that of fans of the franchise. The game's engaging story, excellent voice acting, and improved graphics and gameplay mechanics made it a standout title that cemented High Moon Studios' reputation as one of the top developers of Transformers games. Transformers Devastation was a highly anticipated game that brought together the talents of Platinum Games, known for their fast-paced action games, and Activision, a longtime publisher of the Transformers franchise. The game was set in a reimagined version of the Transformers universe, and featured an original story that drew inspiration from the classic Transformers cartoon and comics. One of the standout features of Transformers Devastation was its fast-paced and action-packed gameplay. Players took control of various Autobots, including Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Grimlock, and battled their way through hordes of Decepticons using a variation of different melee attacks and ranged weaponry. The game also placed a heavy emphasis on combo-based combat, and players chaining and linking together different attacks and dodges while taking down their enemies to earn high score. The game's visuals were also highly praised, with the developers drawing inspiration from the classic Transformers cartoons and comics. The game featured vibrant, comic book-inspired visuals that brought the iconic designs of the Transformers to life in stunning detail. The game's cel-shaded graphics gave the game a unique look and set it apart from the other games in the franchise, and helped to capture the spirit of the original cartoons and comics. Transformers Devastation was also praised for its faithful recreation of classic Transformers designs. The game featured a wide range of classic Transformers characters, including Megatron, Starscream, and Soundwave, all rendered in loving detail with their classic designs intact. The game also featured original voice actors from the original cartoon, including Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime and Frank Welker as Megatron, helping to further capture the nostalgia and charm of the classic Transformers series. Overall, Transformers Devastation was a highly enjoyable game that captured the spirit of the nostalgia of the classic Transformers cartoons and comics. The game's fast-paced, combo-based combat, vibrant visuals, and faithful recreation of the classic Transformers designs and characters made it a standout title in the franchise. The game's demonstration that there was still plenty of room for innovation and creativity within the Transformers universe. It left the fans eagerly anticipating what the future of the Transformers franchise might hold. Transformers Rise of the Darkspark was a game that sought to bridge the gap between the Transformers movies and the video game series, combining elements from both to create an all-new experience for fans. The game was developed by Edge of Reality and published by Activision, and it was released in 2014. This was to parallel the release with the fourth Transformers movie, Age of Extinction. One of the unique features of Transformers Rise of the Darkspark was its ability to combine elements with different parts of the Transformers franchise. The game featured levels from both Earth and Cybertron, and it allowed players to control a wide range of different Transformers from the movie and the War and Fall of Cybertron games. The game also featured new weapons, the Darkspark Spark, which was a powerful artifact that could be used to turn the tides of battles. The game's story was an original one, but drew inspiration from the events of War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron games, as well as the plot of Age of Extinction, the movie. The story catered to that of around the search of a Dark Spark, which was a powerful artifact that could either save or destroy the universe. Players took control of both Autobots and Decepticons as they battled to gain control of the Dark Spark and prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark received mixed reviews upon release, with some critics praising its gameplay and its ability to combine different elements and different parts of the franchise, while others criticized its repetitive level design and lack of innovation. Despite this, the game was still a commercial success, as it demonstrated there was still a strong appetite for Transformers games among fans. Overall, Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark was a game that sought to bring together different elements and different parts of the Transformers franchise to create an all-new experience for fans. While it was not without its flaws, per se, the game was still demonstrated that of still have room for innovation and creativity within that of the Transformers universe, and left fans eagerly anticipating what the future of the franchise might hold. The success of the Transformers franchise in video games can be that of attributed to various genres of the games that they have explored. In addition, the mainline action games that have also been several spin-offs such as Transformers Prime the Game, which was a tie to the animated series of the same name. The game allowed players to take control of various Autobots as they battled their way through various levels, with an emphasis of puzzle solving and exploration. The Transformers franchise has also ventured into the world of mobile gaming, with several games released for smartphones and tablets. Transformers Earth Wars was a mobile strategy game that allowed players to build their own bases and battle other players online. The game featured many popular Transformers characters and was praised for its addictive gameplay and high-quality visuals. Overall, the Transformers franchise has been successful in the video game industry because of its ability to adapt different game genres and appeal to a wide range of gamers. Whether you're a fan of action-packed shoot-'em-up games or prefer puzzle solving and strategy, there is a Transformers game out there for you. With the continued success of the franchise, it's clear that the Transformers will continue to be a major player in the world of video games for years to come. With this, I'd like to point you to the upcoming release being that of Transformers Reactivate, an MMO online RPG third-person shooter of that of Prefer Warframe fame that is meant to be a similar ongoing live service that will be here for possibly a decade in the future. If you want to know about Transformers Reactivate, check out the channel, leave a like, leave a sub, and I'll be covering more Transformers content in the future.